This week, the government's policy of allowing pregnant learners back to school came into focus, generating controversy when it was opposed by a section of religious leaders. Some of these say the schools are not prepared to handle these learners. However, the state called for extensive consultations on the matter, whereas some support the government's decision to allow learners in school up to the point that they are 3 months pregnant. They say some critical points need to be addressed for the policy to be implemented properly.
We know once you become pregnant, your needs increase. You need better nutrition, you need where to rest. If you're breastfeeding, you need time or somewhere where you can go and breastfeed your child. All those have to be provided for at school, but they are not there.
Most of our schools do not have, facilities that they can use to handle the cases of these pregnancy cases and the complication that comes with it. Already we were even struggling and pushing for menstrual health. Most of them could not even afford to address complication that comes with menstrual health. But for me, I think that this is where now menstrual health comes in.
There are many myths about pregnant girls, especially those that are younger than 18 years. There are concerns about stigma associated with teenage mothers. Research analysts argue that a number of schools do not have capacity to carry out counseling to deal with society perceptions about teenage pregnancy.
It is perceived as immorality. So once these people are told to go back to school, if they are not sensitized and rehabilitated, they will not go back. For those who will manage, they may not stand the stigmatization. They will feel out of place.
Kakulu adds that teachers have not been trained how to handle pregnant learners in a classroom environment.
They have been trained that, when a girl gets pregnant, they should be sent home. Well, government has reversed that, but they have not been trained to handle pregnant girls along with other girls in the same class.
One of the most pressing concerns in the education sector is curbing teenage pregnancy, which in the past years has contributed to a high school dropout rate. Some of the stakeholders say whereas suspension of male learners responsible for pregnancy until they return is a form of punishment, this won't solve the problem and might lead to school dropouts.
Where this policy of staying home, under which law we are going to fit it. And I also think that it will not address the bigger concern that we have about our young people.
If they are forced to go out of school, are they going to monitor them to ensure that they have actually not gone to school, or the parent is going to change a school?
On the other hand, some of the parents we have talked to say allowing pregnant girls to return to school paints a bad image to other students.
These other young girls can be affected by the kind of thinking. Others may take it as something normal, that it is okay someone to get pregnant and continue with the studies.
Stakeholders have argued that it is time for government to integrate sexual reproductive health into the education system to provide information to learners that would help them desist from the temptations that eventually lead to pregnancy.
We have spent years debating this, and this is what we have faced during this period. It's a big lesson to this country that we consider these young people being young. We consider that they don't know anything about sexuality, and we deny them access to information. What do we see? Pregnancy.
All this came to the light following a statement by Bishop James Sebagal of Mukono Diocese, who directed teachers in Church of Uganda-founded schools to block pregnant or breastfeeding girls from their institutions. It is unclear whether the government will find the platform to hold a discussion with religious leaders on the matter.